Morning. It's just gone 8:15 and both of the guys have gone to work. It seems strange this morning due to the fact that today hubby hasn't got any overtime, morning or evening. Even before Christmas, when they normally slow down, he did have overtime. And I remember the day after New Year, he is the one that normally goes in 2 hours early. So our alarm normally goes off about 4:30 because he has to have the lasers do their work through to start up, and that normally can take up to 4 hours, especially when the factory after Christmas has been closed for a week or over a week. Well, the lasers today is going to take a while because they have been shut down for a few days with the weekend and everything, so there we are. It's a bit of a shock into the system in a way because we will both wait just before 5:30 because that's when our alarm normally goes off. So it feels as though, I don't know, it's later in the day, if that makes sense, because we've had that lay-in as if it was weekend. Even over the weekend, our son worked both days, Saturday and Sunday, so alarms were going off anyway. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes our alarm goes off 7 days a week, so I think that's why we can't automatically shut off, if that makes sense. And I'm just having a reset day today. I'm feeling okay. I have been warned no climbing on steps and to take it easy, especially when I do my Wii Fit. I've had a couple of sessions now where, although I eat regularly, I have to because I'm diabetic and everything, but I've sort of cut out some of those snacky bits and everything. Although I have water and I have a piece of fruit or crackers or something nearby when I'm doing the Wii Fit. I've had a couple of times where I've been lightheaded, I've had shakes. It's not just the Wii Fit, it's housework as well. That's why I haven't done so much videoing. Things have been a lot slower. I've still got, our son's room to clean and the games room. Still got the boxes in the games room because I still packing up the Easter decor. So things were very slow over the weekend. You may see previously we did actually pop out to Western Favour Centre because I had to get batteries both for my monitors, for my glucose one and my blood pressure one. Both ran out near enough at the same time, so yeah, so I'm just keeping a check and taking things slow. Friday I actually had to contact hubby. I did feel really off. I know when I don't feel well, if you know what I mean, especially diabetic and feeling very lightheaded. I'd had something to eat and I felt woozy, dizzy, the lot, and my sugar levels were really low. Sometimes I know the cut-off point, well I know what the cut-off point is to contact a medical professional. The only thing is, with everything going on, the last thing I want to do is contact somebody unless it's really serious. So what I did was I messaged hubby to contact me in 10 minutes to make sure, I was conscious and everything and okay. We've done this a few times, and if I don't pick up, he will come home. He doesn't work very far from our home. This is how bad it got, because I did lose 2 pounds and I'd done in a week, and that was really good. That was just cutting out little things, you know what I mean, because I have to watch what I eat. But we've had this before, and then I feel even worse, if that makes sense, before you get better. I'm feeling okay this morning. I've had a good night's sleep. Well, I say good night, I woke up a couple of times, about 2:10 thinking we'd overslept. Then of course it was just before 5:30, but I did fall asleep back and I didn't get out of bed, which is surprising. Normally I wake up with a bad head. I've had a few muggy heads as well. That's why I think I've missed maybe 1 or 2 days in the last week. So sometimes I might have 2 videos going up in a day. Depends when I've checked them. So I don't like spending a lot of time editing. Mostly when I'm cleaning or something, I may put those transitions in or something, or speed it up, because I don't know how exciting it's going to be. But sometimes I like to do it at, you know, the right speed, so you can sort of clean along with me. Also, I'm having to be careful because I only normally have 1 coffee in the morning. I've not been having coffee in through the day. Now you can have decaffeinated coffee, so I have to watch the caffeine, because that also causes, when I go cold turkey on that, I've done it before when the doctor suggested reducing the caffeine because of the Pepsi Max and the Coke. Although I drink water regularly through the day, I ended up with bad head, so I have to sort of reduce it slowly. So what I normally do is, if I'm going to have coffee, then I will drink some water. Do excuse my stomach, it is rumbling. I'm going to have my breakfast in a minute, but breakfast is late as well, just a little bit, due to the fact everything is sort of changed round, because I did 2 lots of packing up at the same time. The guys never have got up at the same time, so it's just thrown me a little bit. But it's when they do it for a day or so, and then they say the overtime's back on because they can't cope with the workload. Hubby doesn't understand why they've cut the overtime drastically. It's supposed to be for this week, but again, it might only last a day or 2. It's done this before. If I didn't say, I've got my lounge suit, I've still got my pyjamas on. So, yeah, hubby says, am I out? Because I wasn't dressed this morning, even though it was late. I said it through me. He says, oh, are you having a pyjama day? And I said, I don't know. Normally I do now get dressed just to set myself up for the day. Yeah, so I've had a few rough days. Before anybody says anything, yes, I'm watching everything, my blood pressure, my glucose levels and everything else, my back. I've done a few little yoga exercises using the Wii Fit. That's just sort of, you know, making sure my spine is straight and things like that. I know again when I'm in pain or not. I have been told by physiotherapist on the phone, because I haven't had that you know, check up yet. I'm waiting through the hospital. I've had a few phone calls and been given exercises, even though back, you know, especially my lower back, there's certain exercises I'm allowed to do, and it's to stretch the spine and also to keep that movement going. Before I can actually get my waiting for the hospital for appointments for physio, but it's better to do a little bit, even if it's just a little bit of walking or moving about, and that's what I've been doing. But probably what I've done is doing it 2 or 3 times during the day, a bit more exercise on top of my usual checks, but I have to, whether that's what's bringing my sugar levels down, because instead of sitting probably watching TV, what I would normally have probably done in the afternoon, I've been doing a bit more moving about. Not overdoing it, so before anybody says no, I'm not overdoing it. I know what my body and everything can take. But as I said, did really well last week, and we didn't really miss it too much. I think it was more last night when the guys put a movie on and they looked at me and I said, well, you can have a few Doritos and a bit of dip, but instead of having the whole packet, they just had a few on a plate, as normally, as I said, those big sharing packets, they could easily eat those. We haven't had chocolate, sweets, crisps, any of that for 7 days. We've done really well. The guys have lost more weight than I have. I think they've lost between 3 and 4 pounds each. But then again, they are moving about more. but they are having their full dinner at night, and I'm not reducing that as yet. I did say for 2 weeks anyway they'll be still having their main meal. I am putting more vegetables on their plates when we have vegetables and things like that, and we've been having say yogurts instead of puddings and things like that. So those little bits that cut out for 7 days, they've done really well, and they haven't been taking biscuits to work or cake and things like that, and chocolate bars and whatever. So I have cut that out. They have been coming home and saying how long's dinner going to be. So sometimes I've offered a mixed salad or something, you know, with a little bit of cooked meat, you know, in a bowl and things like that, because obviously I try and cook one meal at one time in the evening. I don't like warming food up for the guys, so that's why. Our son doesn't finish till 6 o'clock in the evening, so it does make it quite late, and he comes home, has a bath before dinner. So this is why I tend to sometimes eat a little bit earlier and then have a little bit of dinner. It depends how I'm feeling on the day. Realistically, meals at night are bad for the timing. They shouldn't be that late. Realistically, I think they say between 5, maybe 5 and 6 is an ideal time to have your main evening meal. I know when I saw my GP wanted to have my main meal at lunchtime, I said not going to work. I said main meal has to be in the evening because I'm not cooking twice. Because realistically, again, rather than evening, it'd be best to have your main meal at lunchtime, due to the fact you're burning it off in the afternoon, and then just have some lighter for tea. But I'm sure a lot of people will agree that evening times is probably when you're going to have your main meal. It has been for ages. That's why it's nice sometimes on a Friday, not so much this Friday just gone because our son had to work till 6, normally has Fridays off. So Fridays it's nice when we could have dinner at a reasonable hour, because hubby, unless he's got overtime, finishes at 2. My son obviously is off, so we can have dinner between 4 and 5, which is brilliant. The only thing is, they're the days sometimes they look for supper, but I did have in the past dinner sort of 5 o'clock, so hopefully it cut out just having a yogurt or something later on. So yeah, things are working out really well for the first week. I say the guys are doing really well, but then again, they are on their feet, but they need their calorie intake anyway. They usually say the first week, 2 weeks, you can, once you cut out little bits and pieces, then yeah, the weight tends to drop off. It's as you get further into the healthy eating. We're not calling it diet, we're calling it healthy eating. Because we're not cutting out everything. Realistically, you see, hubby has cheese every day. I know you can get low-fat cheese and everything, and he does like the full, mature cathedral cheddar cheese, as I said, you know this. And because he doesn't drink, none of us really drink, so, you know, that's one of his things that he likes. And I say at this precise point, because the weight is slowly dropping off, I am not going to cut out his cheese because he needs that intake during the day. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on and explain that my videos might be a little bit here, there, higgledy-piggledy, but as I said, I'm still here. I'm still working through. I have got blood tests coming up soon, and also I've mentioned this before, every 3 months I do have a B12 injection, and it's due in about a week and a half, and normally my levels drop as it gets closer to that point where I have that injection. We're also waiting for confirmation for our second vaccination for COVID-19. Hopefully that will be coming up very shortly, we're hoping. And also might be a little bit more exciting coming weekend, because we are travelling to Wellingborough. It's not very far. We need to go to White Arches, which is a caravan place, because we need to get a water filter for our caravan. We're hoping we've got something booked only for a weekend at the farm to get it all prepped, and hopefully we can use it. We might be going to Rushden Lakes depending on the weather. I really want to go to Primark. There's a few things on my list. I need some pyjama bottoms. As I said, I wanted black. I did buy some from Pep & Co, you know, just to see me through. But I didn't get any pyjamas in January like I normally do for the rest of the year. God, my stomach, can you hear it? I'm really going to have breakfast. Probably fruit and fibre or something like that. Yeah, and there's also a walk around the lake, but it also depends what the weather's like. We did have snow again yesterday. We had brilliant sunshine, we had strong winds, we had rain, sleet, and then it went into snow. It didn't settle, but it was at one point it was coming down quite fast because it was so wet. Yeah, there was me hoping to, you know, get into the better weather. That's why I started this journey on Easter Sunday. We did, as I say, start the Wee Fit, and we need to do full measurements, which hopefully I'll go into in a little bit more detail. It's not just the weigh-in, because if you are doing this sort of journey, whether you started in the new year, I normally start it not necessarily January time. I try and go a bit more healthy eating after Christmas, but me personally, I think Easter time, hopefully when the weather's getting better, I find it a lot easier with the better weather to do these things. You feel like doing it. You're not so, you know, got thick jumpers. Yeah, I've still got my fleece jumper, still got my thick blanket on the bed and things like that. But I do find it easier for lighter meals and everything, and to lose the weight. Plus we do a lot more walking, and in the past, especially with the caravan, go out and again doing a lot of walking. We haven't been to Cornwall. This will probably be the second year on a trot that we haven't been to Cornwall. Normally we spend just over 2 weeks in Cornwall. Where we stop, they have an indoor pool, which I normally go swim every single day for 2 weeks. And although we're eating Cornish pasties and possibly cream teas, things, although I was very limited on the jam, being diabetic, as I said, I actually lost a hell of a lot of weight. It's very hilly, as you know, depending on where you go. Polperro, there's quite a steep slope from where you park. St Ives, you park right at the top with the leisure centre and walk all the way down, although we normally cheat and bus it back up because I normally can't make it and things like that. So yeah, that's what I've missed, because that's usually a good kickstart when we go to Cornwall and things like that to lose the weight. I'm going to leave it here because I need to go and have my breakfast because my stomach's really rumbling this morning. So I need to do sort of my checks, my medication, have my breakfast, and then I think I'm going to do my check-in on the Wee Fit. I'm not sure if I'm going to do my half an hour this morning due to the fact I've been told to be very careful. So I'll see what my readings are, my blood pressure and everything before I start. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.